This is the recipe for my world famous pizza dough. So first up, 1 tablespoon of yeast into a mixing bowl, 1 tablespoon of sugar. It can be white, raw. Usually we use raw, but we ran out. 1/3 cup of warm water. It needs to be warm, not hot. Then just let that rest for about 10 minutes until the yeast has a bit of a milky foam. Then put in 1/2 cup of 00 flour. Mix it into a dough ball. As you go, see it was very liquidy, so I didn't show it, but I put a little bit of extra flour in. And then I'm adding the salt, 1 teaspoon of salt. Mix it into a dough ball. Until it looks a little bit like this, and it's no longer sticking to your hand. I like to roll it around into a bit of a circle, then just leave it sit for however long it takes until it doubles in size. And here it is, doubled in size. So now the method will be to just push your hand gently into the middle. Try not to compress the edges too much. That's the part that will rise. We're just shaping it into a circle about the size that we want. I'm just adding a little bit of extra flour just to make sure it doesn't stick, but as you can see, it's not sticky at all. Just to make it a little bit larger, you just pull and stretch, making sure you don't just compress down the edges. The edges are the part that will rise. So I'm just trying to get it to be slightly larger. And I'm stretching from the outwards. I'm picking up there and stretching it so it's a little wider. You can toss it in the air at this point, but that comes with the risk of dropping it. Here's my world famous ability to use a camera alone. Autofocus, it always fails. Here's a concoction of tomato sauce that we have created, so like 1% basil and just tomatoes. We tried a different concoction of basil, but I had about 20% basil and that tastes yuck. Best way to describe it, yuck. Mozzarella. We're using fresh mozzarella here, but any mozzarella or parmesan mix, even tasty mix, depending on how you want it. This one's ready for the oven. Every now and then I just turn it just to make sure. And some freshly picked sweet basil. From the backyard. It's looking good. The basil really adds to the flavour. Now the trick when you cut into this, it should be crunchy but not too crunchy. It should make it it should be just crisp. The dough on this rises a lot. So it's very thick, and this is kind of a thick base. If I had made it wider, it wouldn't look as puffy. And here we go. It was delicious. Thank you.